As a cricket expert, Andy Zaltzman comes from the unique vantage point of stand-up comedy.
And even though he uses humor and satire, I find his cricketing thoughts to be quite interesting and thought-provoking.
And he's an awfully nice guy.
Until he unleashes his wicked sense of humor upon us.
I grew up in the 80s, we lost to absolutely everyone. My love for cricket endured through that. And, I see those years now, not so much as a failure for English cricket, but as a test for me. I always liked cricket more than I supported England, so I guess, it was always exciting seeing Imran Khan spearing in swinging Yorkers, even if it was knocking Bill Athy's middle stump out. Well, if you take cricket out of the universe, it wouldn't really be worth existing, but if you took the universe out of cricket, you'd still have a pretty good sport. So that's the way I see that.
What does that mean?
Oh, you want it to make sense. No, you have to say that before.
Tunbridge Wells, what's your connection with that then?
Well, that was a place I grew up from an early age, about 5. And the place, more importantly, where I saw my first ever cricket match, the momentous India-Zimbabwe World Cup clash of 1983, when famously India from 17 for 5 recovered thanks to Kapil Dev's 175 not out to beat Zimbabwe and turn the course of cricket history, as they went on to win and unleash eventually the demonic 2020 beast upon the world. At the age of 8, I was there, and I probably influenced it. I had a prominent forehead even at that stage. I think the sun glinting off it is possibly what distracted the Indian batsmen in the early stages, as they
So
say.
9 for 4 happened because of that?
Yep, 9-4, 17 for 5. Then the sun moved clearly, and the reflection wasn't quite as prominent. So in many ways, I'm responsible for the state of modern cricket today. When you think of it in those terms, that's a fact. That's a verifiable historical fact. My father gave me a couple of books about the 81 Ashes, and I read them to the point of physical disintegration. Well, this is Headingley 81. Ian Botham hitting Terry Alderman for 6. And that's the shot that actually gave the title for my Cricinfo blog, The Confectionery Stall. Richie Beno's commentary for that ball was, "Don't bother looking for that, let alone chasing it. That's gone straight into the confectionery stall and out again." An immortal, one of the great quotes in the whole English language. I think it's up there with anything Byron or Keats could manage.
Coming to what's become your very popular blog, The Confectionery Stall. You use a lot of interesting stats, and of course it's very funny. So what did you set out to do with it?
I guess I set out to find interesting stats and try and make it funny. So I'm glad that you think that I've succeeded in that. But I started doing it about 2.5 years ago. I thought I can't really provide insight into what it's like, facing Ashley Giles on a turning 5th day pitch. But I've always kind of been obsessed with cricket statistics. And although that might have ruined my personal life for much of my teenage years and early 20s, it has enabled me, I guess, to find hopefully interesting things for people to read about now. So. Us Brits were very bad at saying no to things. So, admittedly, being offered a paid trip to travel around the Cricket World Cup for 6 weeks, that's not necessarily the kind of thing I would turn down. But that's why I'm here, and to fill up Twitter with lies and bullshit on my Twitter feed and write blogs of an Englishman's experience of the Asian World Cup.
Now, I know the dew is a factor in Mirpur, but India were in a winning position after not long. After 1 ball, some would say, catablasted to the offside boundary by the magnificent Sehwag. I thought putting India in first was roughly the equivalent of finding yourself cornered in a dark alleyway with a hungry-looking lion and agreeing to let the lion have first bite on you because you were feeling quite peckish yourself and fancied your chances of being able to counter-eat your way back into it when your turn came.
I've been doing stand-up comedy now for around about 12 years, and I don't think even my most ardent fans would claim that all of my gigs have gone well. And I found, particularly in the early days, that doing a 20-minute stand-up club set could be analysed in terms of the opening session of a test match. So, for example, if some of your early jokes go really badly, but then you recover, and by the end people are liking it, you might be, say, 90 for 2 at lunch. A really good gig might be like Saywag Cutting Loose, 150 for 0 when things go really well and you blow the roof off. And I have had gigs when I've been pretty much 40 for 8 at lunch. This chap. Well, this cricket fans might know, this is former England captain, batting legend W.G. Grace. He has lost a lot. He's been working out. He's been in the gym, pumping iron.
Still hoping for that IPL contract.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not as effective as a player as he once was, but it's all about branding. And, I mean, you can sell that. That's what it's all about. You can sell it. I think my favourite innings was when Lara beat Australia, scoring 150 not out, and West Indies won by 1 wicket.
99.
And I was watching that on my own in a living room in Brixton in London. Would have been it was just late afternoon, early evening. I don't think I had a job at the time. And on my own, watching 2 countries I didn't have any real affiliation to, I was jumping around my living room when they won. And personally bowling out Len Hutton's grandson for Penshurst Park versus Tunbridge Wells juniors. I mean, Hutton bowled Zaltzman. That's all there was in the scorebook. People didn't need to know he was only 15. I mean, you thought everything I've told you here would point to me being single for life, but I don't know. It's never been fully explained. I think it might be a hoax. But my wife seems genuine. When I prod her in the ribs, she goes, ow.
Yeah, well, he's very lucky. Wooed by cricket. I can't say that. It was a war of attrition over 4 years. And I tried not to think about the cricket too much.
She's very good for a first wife, so I've got no real complaints.
It's outrageous.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye. Bye.